Guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Siba, and today I'm giving you guys a life update, a short chit chat video. I've tried to do this video. This is the third time I'm attempting to do it, and I'm finding myself not finding my feet and not knowing what to say and what not to say, because I've become used to not saying much. That when I do say, it is like, fuck, maybe I said too much. So this is my third attempt at this video. Initially, I was starting to do my makeup, and now I finished it, and I still haven't kept any footage because I just felt like, no. First of all, life update, ne? Happy New Year. The year is 2024. I am turning 32 this year, and I'm hoping that a lot of positive can happen in my life this year. I'm hoping that things can go in my direction this year, or by God's grace, in the direction that He will want me to put it to be in, or in a direction that would be nice to be in as well for me. I'm tired of being God's strongest soldier. I'm tired of being God's strongest little champ. I want to also enjoy life like other kids. So last year I returned back to school. It was not an easy decision to make. Definitely wasn't an easy decision to make. I went back because I was struggling with work. I felt like my career is not moving the way I would like it to. And I found that there were better opportunities for certain courses that I would need to study for. So I tried to apply in 2021, didn't get in. I tried to upload, and it was discouraging to not get in, I won't lie, because I felt like, shucks, like I can't really change much because I've done this one degree, I've done this one diploma, and my marks are the same. I can't change them. Come on. So it became very discouraging, but I tried to apply again. And fortunately, this time when I applied, I went in. I went to visit my boyfriend, who fortunately lives in the same city. Went to visit the varsity, and they told me that I would have to attend full-time, physically. You know, I thought it would be back to COVID rules. And they were like, no, it's back to physical attendance. And so that became a challenge on its own, because I think once you're a certain age and you're used to living your life a certain way, like you're used to having your own sense of freedom and privileges of freedom, when someone or a situation threatens to take that away from you, it becomes somewhat of a mind-boggling situation, you know. I knew that I'm going back to school, and I was really hoping that I would go back in the age of online learning, but unfortunately I couldn't do that. And so even looking for accommodation was just dreadful, because I was just like, I'm gonna have to live with like people that are like 10 years younger than me. I'm gonna have to be in this environment. But fortunately, I was able to find accommodation where I'll be able to live by myself, you know. And I was at least 10 minutes away from my boyfriend as well. Yeah, well. So I was able to visit him, yeah, well, as well. But apart from that, I had to talk to myself and realize that this is going to be life-changing, in the sense that I'm no longer a student who's just been at school for like a while. I am now coming from a place of having been used to freedom and having it being taken away from me, and now pushing to go back to a life of restriction. Yeah, bro? And that was not an easy decision to make. I went back last year full-time. I was studying towards an advanced diploma in quantity surveying at the Nelson Mandela University, where I had done my BTech. I keep rethinking what to do on my face. And I won't lie, the first day after I'd offloaded everything from my car and unpacked everything, I broke down and cried. And because I felt like I had failed at life and I don't know what's going on and I don't know why this is happening to me and why can't I be like everyone else, who has a job, who has certain things, And I tried to apply for work even when I was at varsity and I just wasn't getting work. I really wasn't. Come on. The one time I was even called for a job, it needed me to have a certain certificate, which I didn't have, and I wasn't able to get until I'm done at school. Come on. So really, I felt like in the beginning, it felt like I was just like this complete failure. And at first, I thought about talking about it. And then I decided to stop talking about it. My mom obviously discouraged it from one YouTube video that I uploaded. It was a vlog. And at first I didn't get it as to why she didn't want me to upload and talk about it. But as soon as I stopped talking about what I'm doing and discussing it and relying solely on God as well with providing me peace and providing me with joy in my heart, I then learned how to live a life of solitude without even knowing it. And I didn't know that there was a word for it until I started doing it. I started journaling every day. I started praying every day. Sometimes I forget. I'm human, sometimes I forget. But I started doing that more often for myself. I bought myself a Bible. I think in March or something, bought myself a Bible, and I started praying a bit more and reading scripture, going to church, analyzing scripture, learning what it means and how I can interpret it into my life. And I think me going back to school was an opportunity for me to get closer to God without realizing, but that's what it actually was. I feel like God put me in a position to go back to school so that I can have a close relationship with Him. Yeah, well, yes, it was about school, but I feel like He pushed me. When someone pushes you, you tumble back and you don't know where you're going. Yeah, well, you don't know what your back looks like. So you are tumbling back, but someone's pushing you forward. Yeah, well, they are pushing forward. They know where they're taking you. You can't see where you're going. Yeah, well, because you're looking at them, but you're tumbling back. Yeah, well, you have no choice but to rumble back, but to try and get your balance. It felt like that, but God is like, go here. I know what I'm doing. I know where I'm taking you. Yeah, well, and I wasn't getting it. I really wasn't getting it. And so He put me in a corner of, you are literally going to live by yourself. You're going to learn how to depend on me. I was my choice. You're going to depend on me. And I didn't get it. I really didn't get it. I didn't understand it. I didn't like it in the beginning. But I think my year last year, and I think for quite a few people actually, because even when I see on social media, I feel like last year was the year for us to return back to God. I feel like last year was the year for us, or for just anyone really, to return back to God and to learn how to have a better relationship with God. And so that's what I did last year. And I think the benefit of me having a good relationship with God and a good relationship with my spirituality, the benefit of it was that I did well at school. Come on. And I won't lie, it kind of made me feel like shucks. I wish I'd been this person when I was 18. Maybe I would have passed. But I think I had to go through all those things that I'd gone through all those years ago for me to be in the position that I'm at. Come on, because there would be triggers. There would be things that I would remember from maybe my first year or my second first year or my first third year. There would be things that I remembered, and the only way that I would remember those things was through going through them and experience them. And those things would be helping me at school. Come on. or there'd be things that would learn about that I would be able to relate to and understand because I saw it from work, or I saw it from school, or I saw it from a site that I went to. Ukubon. So it really was a situation where my life, the things I'd gone through in life, the direction that my life has taken, it kind of, all the lessons that I've learned in my work and academia literally was beneficial in my academic life last year. I did well at the end during the year. And I don't think, yes, sometimes school is like that. You don't realize that you're actually doing well until you pass at the end of the year. And I think Lando sometimes stems from when you are used to not doing well at school. Because I had become very used to not doing well at school, that whenever I did pass a test, it would surprise me. It would really surprise me. Whenever I didn't do well at school, it would shock me. Whenever I did do well, it would shock me. As much as I would write the test and feel like I'm confident because I knew the information, but I always had that thing of, I never thought to myself when I'm done, but obviously I got 80%, obviously I got 70, obviously I got 90. I just wrote and just went on with my life and focused on the next thing. And so for me, seeing my marks and seeing how school was, I realized that I needed God to be in my corner for me to be able to do as well as I did. Now, even though God put me in a corner and put me in a place of solitude, it doesn't say that it didn't go without challenges. Yeah, well, and school is like that. School will have challenges. Oh, sorry, guys. School will have challenges. School will have its moments. Yeah, well, it's not to say that things will be great every single time. I remember two incidences that made me realize, yes, I'm done. Sometimes you need to trust in the Lord and His process, because His process is not visibly, His process is not like obvious. His process is not easy, but it's got guaranteed success. Two incidences. First one was an exam for my own semester subject. Well, semester subject. Fortunately, I've been doing well for the test assignment, just need an exam. Like I said, I would always surprise myself. I would always be shocked whenever I got my marks. So exam comes along, and get there, write the exam. It wasn't as tricky, but it wasn't super easy. It was just an exam. Come on. Wrote the exam, walked out of it. I was like, shucks, it was great. So now, this thing of coming out of an exam and talking to each other and comparing notes. So comment comes out, yo guys, I'm so glad the scope came out. Namia says the same thing. So now I'm like, oh, hang on, come on. And normal me would have kept quiet. Three situations actually I need to tell you guys about. Normal me would have kept quiet, right? Normal me would have felt like, okay, never mind, I'll die with this. But I felt like I had to speak up, because I was just like, what scope? Yeah, well, they're like, no, there's a scope, it's in the group. And I was like, I'm not in that group. Yeah, well, and so everyone was like, why aren't you in a group? And I was like, oh, I don't know. But the reason why I wasn't in the WhatsApp group is because I always ended up getting the information anyway. So I never felt the need to push myself to be in the specific WhatsApp group. And unfortunately, that worked against me in this situation. Fortunately, I did pass the exam. I passed it well. But maybe I could have gotten better. Maybe I couldn't have gotten it better. Maybe I would have been worse. I don't know. But for me, that stuck with me in the sense that, yes, there's benefits to being in a life of solitude and praising God and walking this journey. But at the same time, it's not to say there won't be challenges. It won't be easy. Second situation happened where it was a test. We came back from September holidays, and September holidays came and went, and we had a test on the first day, first lesson back, for that specific class. So, and that lesson was on a Thursday. We came back on Sunday, and nothing in me clicked to ask about what I was specifically writing on based on the experience I had from this exam in June. I didn't ask questions again, yeah, well, because I've been doing okay with other subjects and other tests, right? And so we got into the class, we're chatting, catching up, and then I see people's notes. I start seeing people's notes for this test, yeah, bo. And I realized that I don't have these notes. And I've attended every single class with the subject. I don't have these notes, yeah, bo. And so I asked the one guy who was behind me, but can I see your notes, yeah, bo? And I went through them and I realized that everyone in my class had known that we are writing this test on this specific information, except for me. And I don't know if this information was announced before school holidays publicly in class, but I forgot about it, or if it was announced in a subject that I don't attend, because there were subjects that I didn't attend, taught by the same lecturer. So I never researched to find out if that actually happened. All I knew is that in this very moment, 10 minutes before my test, that I'm going to fail this test. That's all I knew. All I knew is that 10 minutes before I fail a test, it's a matter of how badly I fail it. Because compared to my other subjects, this one, I was doing okay. But I wasn't like, most of them were not like here. They were sore. That's how school is. My marks are sore. Yeah, but in this case, it just felt like the fact that I know I'm going to fail this test is going to change everything for me, right? It's going to change everything for me. And so I had to sit there and be like, Lord, we both know what's going to happen here, but you're going to be with me. We both know what's going to happen here. And there's no one else to blame but myself for the situation, because I could have asked questions, but I didn't. And so I sat there, test question paper came out. Vele, I didn't know what was being asked. Vele, I had no idea what's going on. But I answered the questions. I answered every single question except for the last one, which had calculations. Yeah, which I didn't know. And that's pending calculations now, so come on, as best to my ability, but I didn't get the full marks for it. But I went out there, and still after people were discussing tests, that guys be failing on that test. And I'm sure other people were probably like, I don't say catfishing. You know that thing when people, after they do work or tests, they see things are difficult, but they're actually easy for them? I've never been that kind of person. I'd rather keep quiet than to say, but things are horrible and they're actually good. Come on. Because I don't want to speak negativity or lies into my life. Yeah, bro? That's just how I feel about it. So now I would tell people, but I guys be failing. I didn't failing again. Lecturer, the same thing, was like, how did you guys do the test? I told her, ma'am, I failed your test. That's it. Come on, if there's a sub coming around, sign me up, because I'm there. Put me in, coach, because I need it. Yeah, but fortunately enough, I had prayed about it. I was like, look, God, if I get the certain percent, if I get 30% for this test, right? If I get 30% for this test, my DP won't be terrible. It will be not great, won't be terrible. Yeah, so if you just give me 30%, I can work with the DP that I'm gonna get. And God wanted 31%. I got 31%. So Lando is to say, but sometimes, like as much as you can see, but life has challenges and life is great and it's got its benefits, but sometimes it can be tricky. But you have to be able to laugh at situations. You have to be able to smile through the pain. You have to be able to push through the pain so that you can get to the other side in one piece. Yeah, so so fortunately we had an assignment as well, so that boosted my marks. And fortunately, I think because of the fear of failure, because I've become used to failing quite a bit in my academic life, I studied a lot for each and every test that I've ever written for the subject. Every subject really. But I'd always overstudied because I'm always scared of failing, that when marks came out after final exam, my marks for final exam were way better than any mark I'd ever seen for any test I'd written for that subject, assignment as well. Like skyrocketed. ukubona, and it pushed my marks to get ukubona to a certain place with my marks overall. But in the third situation as well that happened was that we were writing a test, different subject this time, but that's a subject that pushed me to not do an advanced diploma in quantity surveying in the first place from first year, because I had been doing so badly in it. That was the one common subject I was failing every single year. And imagine being taught by the same lecturer was teaching me first year when I first came to varsity, the same lecturer that I had now. And so the first test I had written for this lecturer, when I came back for my advanced diploma now, I got like a 56. And I won't lie, I thought I did extremely well, because this content was content I had done in my third year. I did no, girl. I did no, babes. You're gonna get a, what's this thing, a 56. And so the second test we wrote, I remember panicking, freaking out, feeling like a failure, feeling like, shucks, this is not it. Looking around at other people, but is everyone writing the same test that I'm writing? Because what is this? And I walked out of there, and I was so shaken up by that situation that when people were coming out and comparing and high-fiving each other, I left. I said, I can't do it. Sorry guys, I'm just not up for it, and left. And got home, cried, freaked out about it, and got over it. Fine. And so results came back, and I had passed extremely well. Not extremely well, let's not take it that far. But I passed really well. And I thought I failed. And I passed really well. And all I could do was just laugh. Because I was like, God, I was because I had been feeling like this failure and feeling like I don't know what I'm doing. God, all I had to do was to release all my stresses onto you, and you're gonna prove me wrong. Or prove me right. I don't know which one it is, but prove that I'm not bad. And I remember, even in the one question, there was two questions in that test. The one question, he had asked the question differently from how he had taught us. Same, but different. And so I was freaking out because I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing here, because as Puma's numbers, but as Puma's numbers. And so I calculated, wrote down what I think was the answer, went forward, went on, and it's the right answer. Now, fast forward to studying for the exams, final year exams. My one classmate asked me, but how did I get this number? And I just took a photo of the question paper, of my answer script, and went on with my life. And then she came back to me, she was like, the calculation does not come out to this answer. I was like, what do you mean? I'm confused again. She's like, the equation that you wrote down and the final answer do not correlate. So I just didn't understand what she's talking about. And so I had to go back to my script, and I sat down and did the calculation and realized that they really don't correlate. The equation I'd written down was very specific, but the answer I had given was not the same. And I didn't even write down the answer of the equation at all. I just wrote down a number. And so I was just like, do you mean to tell me that in my panic mode of trying to figure out how to do this work, God gave me a number in my head and I wrote it down and it was correct? Is that what you mean to tell me? You mean to tell me that there was a number that just popped up, and it went on with my life, and I never realized it until months later from someone else? Because had that lady not asked me how I got the number, I would never have gone through my question paper again to figure it out. And so that's also another testament as to God's miracles as well. Because had I not written or received that number, I would have failed that question, and ultimately I probably would have passed the test, but not as well. I probably would have passed in the same 50s as well. And so sometimes, I'm telling you guys all of these things to tell you that sometimes God puts you in a position that you may not expect. You may not feel like it's not going to work out, or things are not going to be easy. And really, they probably won't be easy. But sometimes God literally pushes you to be in a corner, takes everything away from you that has become comfortable to you, to show you that you can do more and do greater and do bigger things. Ultimately, that's the one thing I learned. And so I remember I was at my boyfriend's place. He's moved to Johannesburg, so hence I'm here now in Johannesburg. And so I was going through my in the WhatsApp groups and people asking when the marks coming out for final year, blah 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 blah. And a part of me had a mini panic, and I remembered how when I passed my diploma, when I passed my BTech, I never read my marks. My sister did check my marks for me, and so I just felt like, oh shucks, I'm gonna need her to do the same thing, but now she's not here. But fortunately, when I was here in Joburg, they didn't come out. And so when I went back home, it was literally the one night after I came back where I found out results are out. In the middle of the night, I'm in my bed, everyone home was asleep, and I went through my phone and I just saw positive distinction, positive distinction, positive distinction. And I was just like, who the hell is this? Who is this? I literally rechecked my marks 10, 5, I don't know how many times. I rechecked over and over because I was like, there's no way this is me. And I kept on checking again, scrolling and checking again. I was like, there's no way this is me. This can't be me. And I sat in my bed. Oh guys, I sat in my bed and I cried. I broke down and cried. I was like, God, you are so amazing. Because beginning of the year, I felt some type of way, and you have shown me how consistent you are in backing me up. You have shown me how amazing you are in my life and how amazing you can be if I can just believe in you. And hence I'm saying, but I realized that last year was not about me going back to school. Last year was about me building a relationship with God. The benefit of it was that I ended up doing well at school. The benefit of it was realizing that I'm smarter than what I think I am. The benefit of it was realizing that I can do bigger and greater things if I just believe, if I just have faith. I can do more, I can push more. And just seeing that in action and being a testimony of that was just an amazing feeling. And I want to just share that with someone out there. Come on. You might be going back to school from after a certain age. You might be going back to school after maybe repeating a module. Because I've been there. I've been that girl. I've been that person. And I think I want to do a video on that as well, to discuss going back to school and unpacking that after a certain age and after failing maybe a certain subject or being held back rather. But I'll consider and see how I feel. Yeah, well, because I'm also in a space of, I think because of being in a space of solitude, I found myself being in a space of becoming private and just relying on God for things and not speaking about them before they exist or speaking about them before they happen, and just trusting in God and not just boasting out loud and knowing where my source of joy and happiness comes from. So when anything happens for me, I would pray to God instead of just boasting about it in the world. Yeah, well. So yeah, in closing this video, I think I would upload this video. But in closing, I just want to say that, in this new year, let's find a way to come back to God. And let's find a way, not only that, but let's find a way to come back and realizing who and what we're meant to be in life. Whether it means sacrificing your career, not as dramatic as that, but like whether it means sacrificing your comfort, sacrificing what you've always known, sacrificing what is familiar for the unfamiliar, because you never know. You never know until you try something. The worst thing that could happen is a no. The worst thing that could happen is a rejection. But like, you have to go and come back. Yeah, so with all that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.